Hi YouTube, this is Babbleman. Hey, I'm just showing you my tank. It's a 150. It's in the basement of my house. Basically I have, if you can see, nothing underneath for filtration, just decorations under the tank. I don't have any power heads or anything like that. I do have some 2 exit ports there where the water comes in. Just a blank tank, and then there's one pump that pumps from the bottom. A 2-foot tray right there under gravel, and it goes right up the tube into the other side of this wall. I'll show you how to do a 30% water change without lifting the lids, getting wet, getting hoses, or anything like that. Basically all I have to do is just go to this furnace room right behind the tank. There's the pump coming down through a filter so no rocks go to the pump. The pump itself is like a 1,600 gallon an hour, and then it just comes up to my other tank reservoir, which basically has a big sock, bio balls, and then the water level has to be this high before it goes down. There you go. And then there's another drop off right there. You can see the water running down. All the heaters are in here. The water stays at least 4 or 5 inches on this whole big tank. I do have a little baby tank up here that this little yellow hose feeds into the same water, and it just drains back into this tank, which then drains all the way down through the wall into the tank. Anyway, to do a water change, all I have to do is hit this valve here. Now my pump's going down. You can see all the water coming out and draining down the drain. We'll walk over to the tank where the tank is. You see the fish, it's a cichlid tank that's basically hapachromis and all other types of fish and lakes. The water level's dropping right now, you can see. I'll let it drop about a minute or two, and it should drop 30%. There's still a trickle of water coming in, you can see there, because it still lifts it clear up to the top. But this makes water changes a lot easier. So we've already done 15 gallons. When I go to put water back in, I just turn 2 valves and then the water goes in. So right now we've already got 10%. If I go to where just the top of the rocks are, I've got baby fish in here. We can show you the fish for a minute. You can see a little baby fish over here. He's shooting around. Come back to here, you can see by the tank itself, pretty good to about 5-6 inches. If we just stop it here, all I have to do is walk over, turn off the valve that's shooting water down the drain. Right here. Now it's circulating again. I just go up to my wall, turn on the cold water, turn on a little bit of hot. That just goes right into the tank up above, which drains back into my tank. Now I'll let you see it fill up. I had to have 2 hoses to an inch line and an 1.5 inch drain into my tank to keep up with the pump at a nice steady rate. My guess is it's probably 1,000 gallons an hour. I cycle my tank with that pump probably every 10 minutes. There's my shark right on the wall. And you just look at the fish, it's starting to fill up. If I turn the drain valve on now, it'll still go down. The pump outdoes the water going in. So I could actually have it pumping new water in and going down the drain, and it'll still drain my tank. These fish are about 6 months old. I put them all in there at the same time. If I didn't do that, they probably wouldn't cohabitate together. But now there's no deaths. I just get a couple of them breeding. And that's what that little baby tank in the other room that's hooked to this system is, just to hold them until they're about an inch big, then I can throw them in there. As you can see, it takes longer to add water than it does to drain it. But it still fills up pretty fast. We'll be done in about a minute. I also have a siphon hooked up to that side of the plumbing. I just bring it out and siphon the gravel, and it'll all go down the drain when I flip the drain valve. But for the most part, I just do cycle changes with the water. I don't want to disrupt all the big rock for the little baby fish to survive in, to do a gravel cleaning. I like how it doesn't have any pumps underneath or sump tanks. And it's just a plain tank with just open water. I've been doing fish for over 20 years, and this is what I came up with after everything was said and done. And I go show you some of my stuff. My heaters are just turned on full blast. They're controlled by a PID, so basically I want, it says 83, set point 81, so I'll turn off the hot and just now have cold, and it'll lower that temperature down. The power strip's powered to this, so when this turns on, it turns on the power strips, which turn all the heaters that are maxed out inside there. Keep my tank warm. You'll see some of the little baby fish up in here. I'll go take a look. So now the water's still going in. It's 82.8. Right now, it's pretty much full. All I have to do is turn off the supply. So we'll turn it off, and that's how I did a 30% water change. And in the end, it's still 82.6, 82.7. In the summer months, it gets to about 82, 83. I leave it at 81 so it doesn't drop too much. So here's my siphon right here. I have it circulating. It just goes through this long hose that comes all the way up. And it just sits into this 2-inch thing coming down. And I just pull that out. And you can see it. It's just a gravel cleaner. I just pull that whole thing out, stick it in the other tank, and can clean. Anyway, so it's been 9 minutes to do a whole 30% water change. The fish are all happy now and just wanting to be fed. But hopefully this can give you guys on YouTube some ideas. I think right now my 150 plus the reservoir and back, we're probably looking at maybe 180 on total gallons that I'm processing through my filter. Sock filter. It's a 23-inch, 5-inch wide sock. So everything that gets pumped out of this tank goes through a sock and then gravity fed back into this tank. Thanks for watching. Leave comments, suggestions. It's always fun. This is Babble Man. I'll update later to see how these fish do in another year. Thanks.